What's up, everybody? In today's video, we are going over the best rank and rent niches or verticals to go into. I'm just gonna go over a few of my favorite, some that I have experience with, and also sharing some insights from student success and also other people's niches that I see them having success with. So before I dive into this video, if you're new to my channel, I make business tutorials, I give business advice, I talk about personal development and growth. If you like that type of content, click the subscribe button now so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. I always will try to add as much value as I can. Again, if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below. So we're gonna go over real quick the best niches to go into when it comes to rank and rent. One of the key things I always tell people is to think of emergency services, right? Because people will call when there's an emergency. So emergency services. So restoration is a great one. Right, flood and water. Towing is a good one as well. When you need a tow truck, it's a good niche. I love roofing. And then, roof repairs falls under there. And if there's a leak, like a roof leak, that's always another service that roofers offer. Then there's plumbing. And now plumbing's a little tricky. And if you're in my course and my training, I always teach you to start with your first rank and rent website in a small location, in a small city. For our client that's renting the website, I always want to go into a niche if you're in a smaller city, because you're not going to get as much call volume in a smaller city, but you want to get really qualified calls where that call is worth a lot of money. Now, roofing that falls under, plumbing, depends on the different types of plumbing services. Like, for an example, if it's just a toilet repair and you're getting all those type of calls, those are like cheap fixes. You want something big, right? Like hot water tank repair or something like that. So you want to also keep in mind when you build out your rank and rent website, if you're in a smaller city, you want to start building out service pages so that you don't only rank for the big plumbing terms, but you also rank for individual service pages to get even more quality traffic coming in. For another example would be like HVAC, right? And I know a little bit about HVAC that, okay, if you're ranking for HVAC, New York City, you're definitely gonna get some great calls coming in. But if you're in a smaller city, like a really small city that only has, let's say about 50,000 people in it or 100,000 people, you wanna also really go for the terms that you know, and you gotta do market research. Like I know in HVAC, AC repair. So we would wanna make a term that is optimized for AC repair, because that's an emergency. If someone's air conditioner turns off in the middle of the summer, it also goes by the location you're in. If it's hot, especially all year round, or in the summer it's very hot, let's say a small city in Texas, they're looking for AC repair. You want to be able to rank that term AC repair along with HVAC, along with other type of heating and cooling terms. So it's not just the one term. When you're in a smaller city, you want to start building out other service pages to get more traffic. And these could be really good niches, okay? Now, niches that I would stay away from, just from my experience, hair salons, pizzerias, stuff that has these products or services that aren't that expensive. They're really not going to spend a lot of money on you generating leads, especially when their reach too, their local reach, most of them are catering to a small city or small area. So how many leads can you really get, and what are they really worth to them? Where I know if I could get a roofer, even in a small city, 10 qualified new roof estimates every single month, and I know a roof is worth thousands of dollars in profit to them, that's more of the niches we're going after. I'm suggesting that if you're new, just like I train my students, is start with a smaller city so you get the process down, and go after keywords that can convert into something that's worth money to your client. And this all comes from some market research, but from my experience, these are some good niches. Also, limo could be good. Again, depends on the size. And then again, you want to branch out to with limo to like weddings, sweet 16s. So you want to also get all these type of terms in there, not just limo. Limo is the broad term, but also if you're in a smaller city, you definitely want to start ranking those other terms. For an example, I show my photo booth website, which I use as a case study and as an example. And yes, it does make us money, But that's not the greatest niche to get into. I'm just being honest with you, because you start to notice some of these companies only charge sometimes $500 for a photo booth rental, and that's honestly what some of the callers only want to spend. And if you're renting out a photo booth for $500, what could your profit be? Even at $800, what could your profit be? What is a photo booth business owner really going to spend if you're generating him even 10, 15 qualified leads a month? Now keep in mind, that's how many leads you're sending him. He's not going to close all 10 or 15 leads. He's going to have a closing ratio, and if he closes a handful, it's like, what is he making profit-wise? And when I do rank and rent, I want to make it so that it's a no-brainer. I want to get massive results with the site, so really qualified calls. If I'm in a big ticket vertical like roofing, roof installation, I know if I could send my roofer 10 or 15 qualified inbound estimate calls for a new roof, all he has to do is land 1 or 2 of those, and he's going to make money, and he's happily going to spend a decent amount with me if I could do that every single month. Same thing with these other type of bigger services like AC repair. If you're getting a lot of AC repair calls coming in, you only need 10, 15 in a small city, and a guy will be very happy to spend a decent amount of money every month with you to generate those calls. So as you're picking verticals, you want to think of, where's the location I'm getting into? And again, if you're new at this, you don't want to jump into a very competitive area. You don't want to jump into Los Angeles or Chicago or New York City, these big populated areas. Now, don't get me wrong, they're great, but you're going to spend more money to rank and more resources to rank and a little more time. So my suggestion would be, just like I tell everyone in my training, start off small, go step by step through the training, get used to the whole process and system in place. Do it with a small site, get some success. Even if you could turn around and rent your site out for a few $100s profit a month, that's where I want to get you. I want you to taste some success first, then turn around and start growing and going after the $2,000 per month type of rank and rent, or the $3,000 per month type of rank and rent. But later on, you want to do that, build those bigger sites, massive service pages. Start small. These are some of the really good niches that I'm experienced in, and then also I know other people are in and they're doing well. Okay, so again, there's many more. And if you have any ideas, you have any questions, you can leave them down below, and I'll give my honest opinion if I think that is a good vertical or not. But again, this is the type of verticals I would go into, especially as you're in a smaller city. You got to think on, how much is that call worth to the client that might rent my site? Because if it's worth a lot of money, you don't need that many calls. You just need those type of calls, a decent amount of them, quality coming in, and you're gonna have a happy client that's going to rent your website out and have no problem. Or you can also do some market research, and once you know in the area you're in, what a company like Home Advisor or Thumbtack, whatever they charge per lead, let's say for an example, roofing. Let's say they charge $100 for the contractor to get a roofing lead. Now you know if you're getting about 10 calls that are quality every single month for roofing estimates, you know your site's worth about $1,000 per month, and you're given exclusive leads. Home Advisor, they broker that lead for $100, let's say. Every area is different. You have to do your market research, but on average, let's say the roofer is paying $100 a lead. Also, that lead is also going to 3 or 4 other contractors. So you have the upper hand when you come in and you're able to cipher roofing leads, or cipher plumbing leads, or HVAC or AC repair leads, or even limo leads. And you're saying, I'm working out an exclusive deal with you. You're the only business I'm working with in this area. You're going to get every single one for X amount of dollars per qualified lead. And we're going to agree on that. And it's a way better deal than so-and-so that you're using. Wouldn't you agree? And of course they're going to agree if you're giving them a better deal. The first step is ranking the website, but you want to have market research in place so you know what your site's going to be worth once you get it ranking, once phone calls are coming in, once you start building those outreach relationships, once you start showing your site to potential clients to either rent it for a no-brainer fee every month or per lead. Again, I like to do the rental because it's just put a credit card on file, let's charge the same price every month. It's almost like renting out a piece of real estate. So that's what I look at it as. It's definitely easier, and you can move on to other projects, bigger projects. What I'm showing here, this is just an opportunity for you to just come in, take a little piece of the pie, And even if you want to make an extra couple $100s a month, I'm not telling you that this stuff is just easy, you push a button. No, this is a real skill set, but when you can do it, it's real, it's worth. This is an asset. Your site can be an asset. It's worth money to people, especially if you're able to help them grow their business. It's a win-win. So you don't want to try to take advantage of someone. You want to make it a relationship business where you're providing what you say you're going to provide. They're happy with it. They're paying their fee every single month, and you move on to the next project. And if you just are happy making $500 a month, $300 a month, $1,000 a month, keep it at that. If you want to keep growing and scaling and you want to make $10,000, $20,000 a month, you can take it to that level with this type of skill and beyond. So these are some of the great niches that I recommend, and I'll leave this list down below as well. And another one I'll put on here is pest control. Pest control can also be very, very good. And the reason why, again, now of course pest control or exterminator in a certain city is a great term, but then you want to start branching into like termite control. Remember, it's these other service pages that are going to get exact searches that when you rank for them, they're going to bring in more of the power phone calls. Bed bug removal, which is big, and guess what? I know bed bug removal is actually a very expensive service. So that's definitely something I would want to rank for in the city because it's a no-brainer for my client who's going to rent the site for me or buy the leads from me. If I'm generating him qualified bed bug removal calls, then a few termite control calls, then maybe a few roach exterminator calls. Those type of calls, there's so many different services, and you do your research, you do your market research, you see where their money is, and you want to go after those terms, long tail terms, and the big terms like exterminator New Jersey or exterminator Texas. And again, you might want to start in a smaller city if it's your first site. If you're already experienced at this, then you want to go for the bigger stuff and you're good at ranking, go ahead, go for it. There's definitely money there and you're building an asset. Remember that. So these are the niches. I'll leave these niches down below in the description. I'll also put a link in there to my course and training if you want to check that out as well. If you like this type of content, again, subscribe or share it with anyone you think may be interested in this type of content. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.